Which is hilarious.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Singer Family Adventures. John is talking about Binks, his cat, who went on a car ride, right?
Mm-hmm. Car ride without because I thought it'd be fun with his harness.
Yeah.
Like.
So anyway, this is going to be a review of our trip on the Disney Wish. And we were originally going to have Crazy Kylie of Crazy Kylie 14 with us. She couldn't make it, and so I twisted Jonah's arm to be here as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating my dinner.
No, you eat that in your dinner if you don't be careful. Really? Come here.
Looks like we have nobody here. So, are you, I want to get you a little closer. Looks like maybe we have two people here. If you're here, say hello. Go ahead and like the video if you don't mind. Tell us about yourself. There are cats everywhere. That was Berlioz walking by us. And so Joan and I and Rafi went on the Disney Wish on a 4-night cruise.
Trying to get this cat.
August 15th. Look at that kitty. He's so cute. You can't really see him. There he is. August 15th to the 19th. And it was 1 month into the official sailings. So the maiden voyage of the Wish was July 15th. And so we're not super experienced cruisers, but we are experienced cruisers.
I mean, we're not terribly up there, but we've been on a few. Gold, right?
You are now Gold. I am Gold. I've been on 6 cruises. He's been on 5. But we've been on the Dream, the Magic, the Fantasy, and now the Wish. So we've never been on the Wonder.
That's right. I was forget the last one.
Yeah, well, that's because we haven't been on it.
Right, yeah.
That's goals, but since we're East Coasters, we're in Georgia, it's really easy for us to drive down to the port. Hello, whoever is
Not
here.
so easy to drive all the way to California.
To San Diego or to Vancouver to get an Alaska trip. My dog is right here begging because there's still a bowl of ravioli here. So I tried to film a pros and cons video of the Wish, and I ended up feeling like it was really negative, and so I didn't post it. It was a half an hour long. I don't know how long we're going to go tonight. It partly depends on who jumps in, who has comments. I'm waiting for somebody to comment. Go ahead and comment. Let us know that you're here. That's the problem with live is when you spit out your ravioli while you're saying an H sound, you can't go back and edit it.
No.
So anyway, we were on the Wish and it stopped in Nassau. We didn't bother getting off. There's too much to explore on the ship. And then we went to Castaway Key, which we love. And so it was our first time cruising in August. So
that was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
It was hot.
Some of our sense of negatives about the cruise. I mean, it was a lovely cruise, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. And no,
I'm just sorry. Yeah, I would.
Yes. So it was a fantastic cruise, but it wasn't our very best cruise. And it might be the first time we've gotten off, and I haven't felt like this was my very best cruise.
I will say there was a lot of it was definitely not the Wish's fault between. And specifically 2 things. One is August, and the other I'm sure you're going to get to. That was a problem on Castaway as well. If you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. Although I went, well, there were a lot of waves. Yeah, there were a lot of waves.
But sure.
Okay, well, let's get to that when we get to Castaway. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so to me, the 2 things were, it was August. It was super hot out. And
it was too hot to chill on the deck.
Right. Like when we go cruising in January, half the fun is just going out and being like sun worshipers, like vitamin D. When you're coming from hot, humid Georgia in August and you're going to even hotter, even more humid, which I didn't think was possible, sort of Caribbean seas, then, you're not dying to be outside in the hot and the humidity and soak up more sun.
He is zonked out. Can I interrupt? He's out.
Binks the cat is exhausted. And then the other thing was that I had just been at the One Family Pin event. We'd gone to Disney. I'd gone for 3 days. The kids like chilled for a while, but we did a few days at Disney before the trip. I know a ton of you love to do that, but I was so pumped up for the One Family Pin event that I actually arrived at the cruise already exhausted, and I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
But there are positives and negatives to the Wish, and I will say the first biggest thing that I consider a positive, Jonah actually slightly considered a negative, was the stability of the ship. It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is. They've totally changed the stabilization system from 10 years ago when they built the Dream and the Fantasy. So A, it's a bigger ship. B, you can't feel it rocking. Like, it was so smooth.
Yeah, it was. I probably realized, probably physically felt the ship rock twice the whole time, and that's including
And not much.
No, and it was barely just like, oh yeah, I forgot we were moving. Personally, well, from a seasickness perspective, obviously that's a huge plus. I just really like the way it feels when we're rocking back and forth. That's just a me thing, and
You like the gentle rocking.
I like the rocking of the ship,
especially at night, right?
Yeah. So I missed that, but that I think overall it's a plus for sure.
Yeah. Dog. Hi, dog. So it was shocking how smooth it was. And I would say, and for example, our day at Castaway, like, there were really huge waves, and there were huge waves before we got there and huge waves after we left, and we didn't feel the huge waves. And I tell you that partly because if you're somebody who's hesitated to take a cruise because of seasickness, the Wish is the ship you need to go on for sure. The other thing I'd like to say, big positive, I liked our room a lot. Our room was like clearly bigger than the other rooms, and it was a large room. We were in a deluxe family veranda. So we were actually on the curve, like there's 2 curve outs to the ship. So we were right there on the curve, which meant our veranda was a little bigger. It also meant we could hang off our veranda and see the other veranda rooms. Mm-hmm. I do have a video of that a room tour that I will put below in the comments after the live. Lily, I am not giving you ravioli. You're going to have to give up here.
Lily, come here. Come on.
This dog is so cute. Okay, ignore the house mess. Lily, you want to show us how cute you are? Begging for ravioli. Say, can I please have some? Please, please, please. Yes. So, yeah. The other things, I liked the room, and people have complained online that there's not as much drawer space. There's not as much storage space. Didn't bother us.
There's a ton of shelves.
So very few drawers. There's shelves instead. Let's throw a couple negatives at you. The restaurants, 1923 especially, really cramped. Your tables are so close to each other, and that had a big impact. It meant that the wait staff, partly it was a nearly full ship, so it might have been timing, but also the wait staff couldn't come and like stand by your table and chat with you and introduce themselves to you. And that was really a bummer because we didn't get to know our wait staff very much. So 1923 felt really cramped. 1923 and Marvel, both the restaurants are split in half. So
I didn't realize Marvel is too.
Marvel is too. And so for 1923, there's the Walt side and the Roy side. I walked through them both. They're very similar, so don't feel like you're missing out if you're on one side versus the other.
Especially because there's an actual hallway through that restaurant, essentially. Whereas the Marvel one, I think the kitchen's in the middle, right? Or something?
I think so.
So it's not actual space that is needed for passengers, but it is necessary for the crew.
But it means you're not in a big open space
Yeah.
having dinner, and so it does feel really tight.
Marvel's nowhere near as bad as 1923. I just like to put that out there.
Right.
But it is still pretty cramped.
Arendelle was by far my favorite restaurant in terms of the atmosphere. It was the biggest room. It had the stage in the middle. It had the live show. It was a fabulous live show. So that is a positive. The Arendelle restaurant was delicious. They had really good food. Rafi ordered the puff pastry scallops and shrimp thing that it looked so gorgeous.
Yeah,
it was really cool. And he thought it was delicious. So the food at Arendelle was great. The atmosphere at Arendelle and the entertainment was fantastic. The entertainment at Marvel was good, but it wasn't like, I don't care if I don't see it again. Right. Do you know what I mean? I'd go to Arendelle and I'd go on another cruise just to see the show at Arendelle and really enjoy it a second time. Whereas Marvel would be like, okay, you know. Yeah, you agree? And this is a huge Marvel fan here. Me too. And I'm wondering, as more things appear in the Marvel universe, if they're going to shake up what happens in the restaurant, if they're going to, because a lot of it is things on the screen, and some of what's on the screen is clips out of various movies. And so they actually could change the clips and keep the main part the same. So I'm hoping they do that just for interest. The grand hallway was beautiful. And it had a stage, which none of the other ones have a stage, right?
Sure.
And there's fun stuff happening on that stage, so that's really kind of a plus. Like, we walked by a couple times, and there were like games, you know, kids sitting watching games like Guess Who's Behind the Curtain. Rafi went out and sat on the fourth floor a good bit and pretended he wasn't interested in what was happening below, but he was definitely watching it, because then he gave me details about it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me another negative, positive.
I have one big negative, and that is the adult area. The adult area was not.
You mean the swimming pool?
The adult deck, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's not its own deck, obviously, but the area where it is only adults, there's no kids allowed, which, you know, it's just not. It's not nearly as nice as the other ones. I just have to say that. On the other ones, there's, at least from what I can remember, there's one pretty big pool, and then there's at least two hot tubs that are both like essentially the size of this couch, which obviously you can't see the whole thing, but they're pretty large. And there's one bar, and that's it, right? And there's a bunch of seating area. There's the cafe. On this one, there was the bar, there was the cafe. The bar took up the majority of the space, and then you have to walk around to the cafe. There was the infinity pool. The
infinity pool?
Which, I mean, I think that is what an infinity pool is, Mother.
Yeah, okay.
That was an infinity pool.
But it was not much of a pool.
No, it was like a lounge pool.
It's what you'd call in real estate like a plunge pool. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's, first of all, because of how many people there were and because of the size of it, there's nowhere to move. You just sort of stand there. You find a place and you stand in the pool, which is great if you just want to sit there and be wet, which I have no issue with, but also it's not, you know, you want to be able to move around. So there's that, and then on either side of that, besides the showers that are the outdoor shower just to wipe off the rays, there's these just big chairs, these concrete chairs that just have water running down them, and then maybe an inch of water on the floor for your feet. It was just a weird little lounge.
It was a cool place to sit with your drink. Right. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, obviously it's not their fault, but it was way too hot for that.
It was way too hot for that, and it wasn't. They were also both very hard to get in and out of.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I don't have huge mobility problems, but I don't have I'm awkward sometimes. You had to climb a ladder up and down into the infinity pool, and you had to go over this really huge step into the sitting area he's describing.
And then the hot tub is
one hot tub.
one singular hot tub that's not that big. It could probably sit maybe 6 people, right?
Yeah.
At most, and that's getting a little cramped. And it's not even in the adult area. It's like
in the hall.
It's like on
outside,
the lead up,
but it's
right next to
it's
the
on the walkway
elevators.
to the adult area.
It's like halfway in between the adult area and the kids area. So the nice lack of
Lily, no.
Lily, go. What are you doing? No,
She doesn't usually do that.
she's just impatient and entitled. Go, Lily.
No.
Go on. All right. Anyway,
and there's one way into the adult area and no way out on the other side. Whereas on the other ships, there's 2 sides to get in and out. It felt really crowded, and it felt like a place to go hang out with your drinking buddies.
Right.
It didn't feel like a place to relax as an adult. And I mean, he's 20. He mostly remembers the dream and the fantasy, adult areas. But I've decided the dream and the fantasy are my favorite ships.
Yeah, those are the bigger, the medium.
The medium ships now. The other thing is we did the Rainforest Room. I kind of regret doing it because it's gotten so expensive. And it's beautiful. Like they've bumped the Rainforest Room to another level on the Wish. And there's this whole outdoor area with 2 big hot tubs and these lounge chairs that are bed size, and they're like swings. I sat down on one and accidentally fell asleep for 2 hours on the last day of the cruise. It wasn't how I wanted to spend my 2 hours, but it was very comfortable.
Biscuits.
And the Rainforest Room on the Wish has an ice room, which was
my favorite thing on the planet. I just have to say.
He loved it. He's always hot. He loved the ice room.
It was the perfect amount of. It wasn't freezing. I was a little worried it'd be absolutely freezing, but it was cold enough to be. What was really nice was going from that to the hot tub. I hate the sauna personally. I don't get it.
I love saunas.
Going from the ice room to the hot tub, or I assume the ice room to the sauna, is a lot of fun.
Yeah, so that was a cool feature. But on the dream and the fantasy, the whole Rainforest Room faces the ocean, and so you're lying on the stone beds and you're looking at the ocean, or you're in the hot tubs that are in the adult area and you're right on the ocean, or you're even in the saunas, both the steam and the dry sauna, there's a window to the ocean. And I loved that on the dream. I loved that. Absolutely fantastic. And so you can't see the ocean from anywhere in the Rainforest Room on the Wish. So that was a bit of a bummer. If I go on the Wish again, I'm not going to spend the money on the Rainforest Room. I am on the dream for one day. I remember, hey, Cherie, really need to get to bed, still not feeling well. Oh, poor thing. Cherie's been sick for quite a while. Hey, how are you? So, look at you. This is Biscuits.
Well, now you've blocked him.
Now I blocked him with the comment. So my honest impression is that the Wish was built to generate more income on each cruise because it's bigger. There aren't that many more staterooms, but the bars are interspersed everywhere throughout the.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of bars.
And what was I gonna say? Oh boy. Yeah. Go on.
The Quiet Cove Cafe, which is in the adult area, is much smaller on the Wish, but
none of the cafes, and I don't know if that was just this cruise or what, none of the cafes had special drinks. I remember on the old cruise.
They didn't have as many, salted caramel.
Basic coffee.
It was basic
mocha,
lattes, basic cappuccinos.
Right. It was anything you'd expect out of a coffee place. But No, it was nothing like. The best way to put it is it was nothing Starbucksy. Like, you know.
Is the Starbucks guy.
Right. Well, I know that people go to Starbucks and they don't have coffee.
The lattes and the cappuccinos were good.
They were very good.
And they were fun. And one thing that I considered a plus was you didn't have to go to Quiet Cove Cafe to get your latte or your cappuccino. They sold it at Marceline Market, which is the new Cabanas.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a front area there that's like a bar / coffee shop with couches.
It was a shame that I missed that because I would have gone to breakfast.
You could buy a cappuccino there. You could buy there's like a bar on the 3rd floor. There's a bar on the 4th floor that were both right near.
And they're all full bars and also coffee bars, coffee shops.
And so there are some really fun bars. Like there was the Bayou I really enjoyed, which is sort of in the middle of, I think it was the 3rd or 4th floor.
Right.
And that was the Tiana themed one. And it had, you could get beignets there. They weren't Mickey Mouse shaped, but who cares? They were delicious, like New Orleans beignets.
Can't get sauce for them though, unless you want to pay like $15.
19. So you can buy,
extra.
you could get like 3 beignets for like $4 with just the powdered sugar on them. But you can't get the dipping chocolate sauce like you can at Disney unless you bought a $19 set that was 3 beignets and a chocolate dipping sauce and like an Irish Bailey's cream or something.
I think it was 6 beignets, but then it was this, or no, it was like 4.
Whatever it was, you were buying a shot to go with it, and you couldn't buy the chocolate sauce without the shot, and so therefore it went from like $4 or $5 to $19.
Right.
And so we didn't, but they also had live music there. That was really nice. So Nightingale's was a beautiful space. That is another bar that I went to for my champagne tasting. I know.
Talk about the elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room.
About bars.
Yes, and we're not talking about the big gray fat kitty cat. Hyperspace Lounge.
Yeah, was, in my opinion, as someone who doesn't drink, not all that. It's not all that. It was Star Wars themed, and by that I mean they have the really cool wall that you'll see in every video with
It's
footage
TV
of space.
It's a TV screen
Right,
that alternates with footage of space.
And then they have little like statues, or like they have little like glass containers on some of the backs of the chairs on little like corners of the walls. But they didn't have anything past that. I don't think the wallpaper was anything special. The chairs,
the doorway was really cool. Like
the doorway
was like
part.
A spaceship where it's like.
Yeah, you have to push a button to get in and out. And so walking past it looks really cool. Getting in,
it was cool, but he's never been to Olga's Cantina. If you've been to Olga's Cantina and Galaxy's Edge, that is a much, much more immersive Star Wars feel in every way, shape, and form. So Hyperspace Lounge had some interesting drinks. Yes, there's the $5,000 drink on the menu.
Wasn't there a $200 drink?
There was also a $200 drink on the menu. I ordered an $18 drink.
I ordered one of the non-alcoholic ones. It was nothing. It was nothing. It wasn't that good.
Whatever. It's a bar with a little bit of Star Wars theming. It's not the end all be all. So if you can't get a reservation there, you're okay. So now my kids are way past the age for the kids clubs. I mean, Rafi could go to Vibe, but he's not interested.
I don't want to get kicked out again.
That's not.
We're talking about Vibe, not the adult area.
Okay. So anyway, what was I saying? My impression of the kids areas, and I did not go into them beyond like looking into them, like glancing. I didn't go to the open houses, but those have all gone up a level. Like they look amazing.
I just have to say my favorite thing about, I think it's the Oceaneers Club, right?
Yeah.
It's on the 3rd floor, at least the entrances.
In the grand hallway.
In the grand hallway, just off to the side. And there's like a slide. There's stairs, but there's a slide you can go down.
There's no stairs.
There are stairs. You can
go in.
I sat there and watched. You can get up and down the stairs. But it looks like you're throwing your kid away. It's really funny. You just
There's no stairs right where the slide
put
is.
your kid in the there is. You put your kid in the slide and they disappear.
And so this one kid,
There's also that.
this,
There was this. Can I tell it?
yeah,
There was a dad who was talking to the person about his kid, and was sort of like whispering, like, "Yeah, my kid's
really difficult.
my kid's sort of difficult,
He's
very
a lot.
energetic. He's a lot." And then the kid goes down the slide finally.
He's maybe 4 or 5.
Right. And then about 30 seconds later, while they're finalizing stuff, the kid comes back up the slide, and he has to like tell the kid to go back down.
Like,
And then once the kid goes down, he turns to the woman and he goes, "You see what I'm telling you? He's crazy." He's like, "You see what I'm telling you? It's just a lot. He's a lot."
So, I feel like there's so much more we should be talking about, but yeah. So there's way more concierge rooms, which meant we didn't get to Palo, and we didn't get to Enchanté, because the concierge get first dibs on that, and then platinum, and then gold. And it was a beginning cruise, which meant that there were way, way, way more platinum people on the cruise than a normal season. We're sort of fading out here. Hi, Leslie. Let us know if you have any questions, because we are sort of babbling away at what we liked and didn't like on the cruise. You wanted to talk about Castaway. We had a slightly disappointing Castaway day, because
banana boats got canceled.
the banana boats got canceled. We were supposed to be on these banana boats where we sat on these long boats that looked like bananas and dragged.
That was because of the waves.
It was just because of the waves, right? And sort of dragged behind a speedboat. And we were all excited for that.
The other thing that wasn't the wish's fault that I was trying to bring up earlier is the helicopter.
Oh, our cruise had a helicopter circling and circling and circling, like
for like footage.
And the captain warned us at the beginning and said there's going to be a helicopter circling on the first morning. It's for PR reasons. Well, it wasn't just the first morning; it was every single day.
I wouldn't say every single day, but Castaway would not leave us alone.
It wouldn't leave us alone at Castaway, and then it was always there in the morning when I went out with my cup of coffee. So that was not particularly restful or peaceful. Another thing the Wish does not have, which people have complained about, it wasn't something I ever really used, but the other ships have a running trail that will circle the entire deck 4, and you can go around in a circle.
That is a shame.
There's no circle on the outside. There is a great big gym area, which we didn't actually go to.
I didn't know there wasn't.
There are 2 movie theaters, which we also didn't go to. You're going to be left wondering, what did you do on your cruise? And I mean, the walls, the decorations, the elevators, everything's beautiful. Oh, they fixed the elevator buttons.
Did they?
They did.
I read that they fixed the elevator buttons.
Because the elevator buttons when we were there,
they were hypersensitive.
Well, they were not buttons. You just touch them. They're buttons in the same way that the
like
phone
a touch
button
screen.
was.
Like a touch screen.
Right, where it doesn't actually exist as a button until you press it and it feels the weight on it. And then it lights up to give you the idea that it's a button. Not a real button.
The first time, the first day we got on the cruise, and and then we were gonna go do we were gonna go get lunch. I pressed on the buttons, thinking that they won't
all light up.
Yeah, I just hear beeping behind me. I look around. Every single time button was just on every single floor.
Every single time that the elevator was too full and someone got an inch away from the buttons, all of them started to light up.
They just started to freak out.
There's only 2 sets of elevators, which a lot of people complained about. I didn't find it so bad because you're close to them all the time, it felt like. And when you get to the elevators, there was 8 elevators instead of 6 or 4, which is what you have each time you go to a bank. On the other ships, there's never 8 elevators right altogether. So I didn't mind the elevators. The buttons were too sensitive. I've heard on Facebook pages that they've been fixed. The sort of exploratory interactive thing with the pictures, which I'm forgetting what it's called, but it was not working when we were on the ship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's
I
a
heard you
whole
talk
thing
about it. I thought it was
like the
really
Great Mouse Detective, only supposed to be even cooler. So it wasn't up yet. Olaf supposedly showed up at Arendelle certain nights, but didn't show up our night. The show was great without Olaf. The Broadway shows were great. We didn't get to see Aladdin. That one wasn't running yet, but we did see Ariel, which was good. I really loved the Mickey. What is it? Seize the
Day.
Was that what it was?
I want to say so. I don't know.
Well, it's with C. It's with SEAS.
Seize.
And it was a really, really good show. And sometimes you wonder, like, oh, it doesn't have a full plot. Maybe it's not that interesting. It was a great show. I loved that. So, yes, I've heard several complain about the elevator buttons. They were hypersensitive.
I hated them so much.
But, it still was a lovely cruise. Like, it still is a beautiful, beautiful ship. The main theater is a beautiful room. It does feel like it fits a lot of people.
I'm just happy to have to leave anywhere in 3 weeks.
Marceline Market I liked Marceline Market. A lot of people think that they miss Cabanas, but I thought it was
It felt really crowded.
Did it?
Yeah.
When we first,
I'll be honest.
The first lunch, when you first get on the ship, it's always really crowded.
Yeah, but it felt like the walkways were way too narrow.
I think the only times you went, though, were the morning of Castaway and that lunch. Like, I don't know. It wasn't that. It was kind of crowded, but
I missed Cabanas.
I didn't miss Cabanas. Like, things were close together, and that felt to me like it made it easier. Oh, huge, 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 huge positive was the outside eating places. The Mexican place, Donald's Cantina. Once I found their tacos, I ate them 3 days in a row. Sorry, there's a dog outside barking, so my dog wants to bark back.
Yeah, there's a barbecue place that is really supposed to be really good.
We are going on the Disney Dream in January with
our uncle.
With their uncle, one of my best friends, and it will be his first Disney cruise, and I'm super excited about that. That's going to be a 5-night cruise, beginning of January. So, yay! That's our next cruise. So, yes, to answer your question, Leslie, there's another comment. Oh, hey, it's Irene and Mark. Dang it, I'm late. Sorry, I got distracted. It's okay. We actually didn't have Kylie here, so we're just sort of chatting away. And yeah, I liked Marceline Market. I was happy with what they had. Hi, Emily. So now that we've talked, now we're getting people on. The only good part about ending a cruise is the countdown to the next one. Yes, very much the countdown to the next one. And the next one, we're going to get to go to Palo. There wasn't any chance.
All 3 of you?
Yeah.
Yes!
Rafi's happy that he's not going to Palo because
I get to be alone and do whatever I want.
He gets to be alone and do whatever he wants. So, yes. You're from Gainesville. We are in Atlanta. So yes, 119 days, but who's counting? If you're not familiar with cruising on the Disney ships, be sure you get a placeholder on your cruise. It costs $250. It gives you the right to book your next cruise within 2 years for 10% off. And if you don't use it, you get your $250 back. So that's wonderful.
200 or 250?
250. So yeah, getting the premier dining was impossible. I have to say, our staff members our crew members, like, we didn't get to know our servers very well. We actually talked quite a bit to the head server of the whole,
Servers.
yeah, but of like, whatever. Anyway, it was a woman. It's the first time I'd seen a head server who was a woman on the Disney cruise. So we chatted with her a good bit, and she was lovely. I was bummed we didn't get to know anybody else. We barely saw our stateroom hostess.
To be honest, the waiters from our last cruise, not the one that we already, not the Wish.
The Fantasy?
Yeah, the Fantasy. The waiters there were my all-time favorite.
They were your favorite? They were very chatty with us.
Yeah.
They also had a lot more time because it was an almost empty cruise. So Irene's asking, as a seasoned Disney cruiser, what was our favorite part of the Wish and what was our least favorite part?
My least favorite was that it felt like it catered towards adults, but the adult area sucked.
The adult area did kind of suck.
It was pretty bad.
Compared to the other cruises. I did love the larger room. I thought that was great, and I loved Arendelle. Arendelle was fabulous.
Arendelle was very good.
So Arendelle, top, and I loved how stable the ship was. Like, if I were to go in hurricane season, I'd go on the Wish, because we went. Rafi and I went the one time we went.
The hurricane would be a lot of fun.
Well, they avoid the hurricanes, but Rafi and I went on a Halloween cruise.
Oh, yeah.
And it was 2 weeks after one of the really huge hurricanes that hit the Bahamas, and there was like another one hitting while we were there.
Is this when we did it with Paul and
yeah, with
sister?
Paul and Phoebe.
Yeah.
And Rafi got really seasick, and it was really like you're walking down the hallway.
I got really seasick on my first cruise.
Right, but I mean, we were taking all the medicines this time. Like,
and it
just
nothing.
was. I felt stone trash drunk walking down the hallway, having not had a single sip of anything. That's how much the ship was shaking.
To be honest, like when it was shaking and we were walking down the hallway, I couldn't even stand up straight. And whenever we were in a show and it was rocking like that, like I wouldn't even pay attention to the show. I would just need to lie down on the ground because I cannot take.
Well, you almost fell asleep at the dinner table. That was hard. So yeah, the adult area is lacking. It's a better ship if you like to bar hop, but if you want to be outside in water and enjoy the ocean, I don't know. I still like the Dream and the Fantasy the best. So yeah, I hate to be negative. I really hate to be negative. It is a gorgeous ship. The detailing of it is beautiful. The lamps are beautiful. It's beautiful. Like, I'm not going to turn down a Disney cruise.
I wish the lines for the slide on the Wish weren't so long.
Oh, the slide. We didn't even talk about the slide. The Aqua Mouse was really fun. It was fun. It
went uphill, showing like when me and my mom went, when the two of us went on the side for the first time, it just kept showing clips of the whole the Mickey Mouse cartoon thing.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever there would be at one moment we would just get splashed. Well, not splashed, like sprinkled on a little,
squirted with water all of a sudden.
Until like the last two ones we don't, and it just keeps going until like it goes completely black for just 5 to 10 seconds.
And then it goes really fast.
It goes really fast, and if you're at the back, I'm sorry if you get a cold back. That's your fault. Standing at the back.
Okay, I'm So Leslie said she's been seasick every time. You might want to try the Disney Wish, like seriously, and don't go during,
Any kind
hurricane season. It really was really, really smooth. What is our must do from the Wish? I mean, you must go to the Broadway shows. You must ride the slide. The slide is definitely worth riding.
They also, real quick, not related to that, they stopped doing Cake of the Day for the Wish, but they didn't do Cake of the Day on the Wish. I don't know if that's an everything thing. I don't even care about the cake. I just like.
You love the concept that there was a cake of the day.
Yes.
I don't.
I also really like the drink of the day, which they had. And
I
it
just
was
wanted
good.
cheese and crackers.
But still.
So I mean, you've got to just enjoy it, right? You've got to enjoy everything that's there. I think you've got to get beignets when you're on the Wish.
Really?
You've got to enjoy the shows. You've got to. Hi, Lily girl. The pools are better for children than they are on the other ships. There's like
Even though
six. Well, I went in actually the last day in the kids' pools. There are 6 different pools. There's 5 on the main area in front of the funnel vision, instead of just 1 pool or 2 pools that are like back-to-back children. So I think.
Oh yeah, no, that was actually really good.
It was really good. So.
It was really smart.
There were just big design changes, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with it as time goes by and as they iron out they iron out some of the kinks.
Didn't they have a funnel vision on not just one wall, but like on the wall on the other side? They had it on more than one wall, so you could be on more than one side of the pool if you were trying to watch a movie.
There's just one big funnel vision.
On the screen.
Yeah, but that's for some of the parties. Like they show things on the parties.
I just saw the screen.
Yeah.
What was that? What do they call it again? Funnel cake or something that had the powdered sugar on it?
Beignets.
Beignets, right?
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
more of those.
Too bad.
All right. I think we're going to wrap it up here at the moment. So it's a very mixed review. Bottom line is it's a wonderful ship, but I still like the Dream and Fantasy better. We didn't even talk about the stores. Mickey's main sale is not as large. There's more high-end shopping. So there's way more opportunities on the Wish to spend a lot of money, should you wish to spend a lot of money on your cruise beyond the cruise itself.
Right, because we haven't spent.
So, big question, will you book another Wish cruise in the future? Heck yeah.
No.
Yeah, I will.
No.
I mean, it's not my first choice, but it is sailing out of Port Canaveral, which means it's the easiest one to get to, and it's the one it's going to be doing the short cruises out of Port Canaveral. So for us, that's the most cost-effective way to get on a Disney cruise, and I will for sure do it. I will probably not this year or who knows when, but if I ever do a last minute cruise, like we did that one time in September, October, when the prices are down, I would jump on the Wish. Yeah. So, all right. Hi, Carolyn. All right. We are going to log off. Thank you guys for showing up and chatting with us. Really appreciate it. Any Disney cruise is worth going on. I don't mean to diss the Wish. The Wish is beautiful. It's got some fabulous things to it. And yes, Jonah is making weird faces. Yep. Hi, we're just logging off. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. You can comment on the replay. I'd love it if people commented on the replay if they're here. Somebody just broke a cat toy, but whatever.
It was John, not me.
And go spread some kindness. Hope that you're all doing super well, and see y'all real soon.
Out,